expect Burning Abyss to be the most dominant one. I'm going to play not the most dominant one, but rather Shaddoll, because it has the best chances against
Just to interrupt you, it looks like our players have started playing.
Right. So let's take you there.
Joshua has opened up with a mathematician dropping Squamata into the graveyard.
So this is Joshua's hand, and this is his field, as you can see.
So just to bring you back up to speed, Squamata has put Falco into the graveyard, and Falco's effect has then set Falco on the field.
Right, and now it's up to Jens, and this is his opening hand, and you can see he's already going for it with 6 Samurai United, one of the most important cards in this deck.
And 6 Samurai United has been Mystical Space Typhoon.
Right. So he is not going to draw into some more cards, which would allow him to perform even more special summons. But he does have access to Xian here. Or any other level 5 Synchro monster here.
Yeah.
Now it's probably going to be Xian, isn't it?
Well, he's got Xian there up on the top of his extra deck. He's thinking, and there it goes.
Yep. Alright, so here's an attack over the Mathematician, dealing first blood in this match. So Joshua down to 7,000. Unlike the Clifford archetype, Shaddolls aren't prone to using a lot of life points early on for their own effects.
No. Yeah, that is Vanity's Emptiness and Double-Edged Sword technique just set there.
Alright, so he flips the Falco.
Yeah, Falco's flip face up.
And Vanity's Emptiness, a card we mentioned before, preventing, well, mostly your opponent, but also yourself from special summoning monsters.
Yeah.
And since he has already the Xian on the field, this is the card. Let's bring that up for you guys as well. Oh, there we go. Can't bring it up for you. So we're missing this one card in the card database, but we can explain the effect of Xian for you again if you haven't been playing against the 6 Samurai for a while.
Squamata's targeting that Xian there.
Yep.
And
so
as the 6 Samurai do, they can let one of the other 6 Samurai die instead.
Alright, so once per turn, during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell or a trap card, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. And if it would be destroyed, you can, of course, destroy another face-up 6 Samurai, which is what most of the 6 Samurais are doing.
Yep.
So here we go. Jens applying even more pressure, and Joshua doesn't seem happy. Then again, he's known for his poker face.
And here comes the Naturia Beast to Joshua's open field. We're just seeing 6 Samurai completely smashing.
Yeah, they're dealing... I mean, it's one of the most explosive decks. They are definitely known for that. And these are Joshua's options in hand. So he did draw into a beast just now. Let's
just have a look there at the...
let's bring out the... He's thinking about his options here. And this is
the tech that a lot of Shaddoll are using now. It's basically, as I say, filtering dark and light monsters into the graveyard.
Right. So what's his next step here?
He has special summoned the Wyver Buster, attributed the Beast, which has allowed him to get another Collapse Serpent into hand.
And so what looked like Jens was overwhelming Joshua just a second ago might be turned around.
Yep, and there comes down a Grandmaster of the 6 Samurai.
Yeah, his draw for the turn for Jens here. The Grandmaster is a very old card as well.
Very old, yeah.
I mean, he's the Grandmaster, so he must be a little bit older than the younger guys. And he can... This was a big deal when this card first came out.
Yeah,
just being allowed to special summon a big beatstick like with no requirements almost. Like you always want to have a 6 samurai monster on the field anyway, so it's not like this is a big drawback for you. Not like a Cyber Dragon, for example, where your opponent had to have something and you at the same time shouldn't have a monster. Makes all the difference. All right, so Joshua did draw into a White Dragon Viperbuster, if I'm not all too mistaken.
And he special summoned it to tribute it for a beast, which is attacking the Grandmaster of the 6 Samurai. And
the face down card is a Dimensional Prison, another oldie, but in this situation, goldie. And my god, Jens Eckardt with these age-old cards, Yugi style. This is like 10 years ago. Not quite, but let's make it like 7. He just overwhelms Joshua Schmidt. You can tell he's in a pretty cheerful mood here.
He is giggling. Giggling in the face of his opponent.
Joshua is like, oh my god, camera's on me. Not right now, please. And yeah, on the right-hand side, you have a Dimensional Prison. It's better again in a field with lots of monsters that you can easily return from your graveyard.
Plus, it doesn't destroy.
Yes, that's also a very big deal. So having a look at the side decks here, I mean, I expect Jens to be more than prepared for this matchup. He's got 3 copies of Shadow Imprisoning Mirror.
Yes.
That's going to come in right here.
The Max C, just to be able to issue the Max C challenge.
Yeah.
Do I really want to be special summoning everything whilst that's there?
He's got 2 copies of Wiretap, which is also a very interesting card. Wiretap, together with Vanity's Emptiness, is like almost a question of what do you believe in? What's your preferred way of playing? And I've seen some players preferring Trap Stun, because you can stun your opponent so he doesn't get any trap card effects for the turn. And at the same time, during that turn, you can still special summon monsters. Wiretap, on the other hand, is really good since it returns the opponent's card to the deck, so he doesn't really get it back anytime soon.
No. I mean, looking at Joshua's side deck, he's not prepared for this.
I think no one is.
No. I mean, he's got 2 Denka Seka, the Maxi maybe just to stop a few, kind of ward off a couple of special summons. But other than that, there really isn't anything in there to stop 6 Samurai.
Yeah, this is quite interesting. Sometimes one of these older decks that have been hated out of the competition, they come back, but nobody really notices, because you're always going from A to B, and then you're going from B to C, but you're never going back and
backwards,
like what was good like 5 years ago. And sometimes I know that a lot of players are just waiting for the moment when the Gladiator Beasts are going to be a thing again.
I tried Gladiator Beasts.
Why do they not work in this environment?
They do. They're just quite slow. I mean, with Primal Origins came, I believe, I'm not quite sure, Augustus, which is 2,800 attack. When he's special summoned by another Gladiator Beast, you can special summon a card from your hand. But that also counts if you special summon another one of him from your hand. So you can bring out 3 level 8s in one turn, and then another monster.
So here we see the opening 5 of Joshua Schmidt, who does have a Shaddoll Dragon, Falco, Lila, Lights 1 Sorceress, and 2 copies of Sinister Shadow Games. Both of these Sinister Shadow Games have been set. And yeah, that's a very conservative start, but not very surprising for the Shaddoll deck now, is it?
No.
And with the Sinister Shadow Games, his Falco is already live. His opponent, Jens, did draw into 6 Samurai United, which got activated right away. He's got Shien's Dojo as well. And now he's going for special summons again. These cards don't stay in hand, so let's take a look at his field again. So 6 Samurai United, very easy to understand effect. Whenever you summon a 6 Samurai, you add a Bushido counter on it. You can have max 2 counters on it, and you can then send it to the graveyard with 2 counters, which is what you do most of the time, to draw 2 cards. Shien's Dojo, on the other hand, we also got it here for you guys. Just give us a second for the card to load. There we go. And it does the same thing in a way. It also gets counters whenever you summon one. And you can special summon from the main deck a 6 Samurai monster or a Shien effect monster with a level less or equal to the number of Bushido counters.
Doesn't really matter because that Shien's Dojo is now gone, basically due to a Sinister Shadow Games, bringing down, I believe that was a dragon? That's a dragon's effect, is it not?
Yeah, that's the dragon's effect.
Yeah.
So,
okay,
well,
drawing 2.
Good for Joshua to not fall behind even further here. Joshua didn't really draw into any cards from his side deck so far, whereas Jens has now drawn into a second copy of Reinforcement of the Army, and I would expect him to activate both of these right away.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You want to make sure that the remaining cards in your deck are they are all live, unless you run into a situation where you need one particular monster. But I don't think that's going to happen. Is he going to activate the second copy as well? No.
No, he's going to keep that back, just in case. You don't want it to get negated straight away.
All right, so here he adds another 6 samurai to the field. Now he's got Kageki, Kisan, and the spirit of the 6 samurai. And he could again go for Shien. Oh, Emma.
He's just I think he's just explaining a few things there. Now, it's rather interesting because when you think about it, 6 samurai coming back kind of makes sense now that Reinforcement of the Army is now back to 3.
Hmm.
Or any warrior-based deck.
Yeah, there are a few of these, yeah.
I mean, you're looking more at Noble Knights, and I'd really like to see if we can get one of those up.
Yeah. So he now equipped the spirit. He didn't have access to Shien, by the way. I was mistaken there. He's missing the tuner. And but then again, the spirit is such a flexible card in this archetype. And he's still got 3 cards in hand, in fact. Vanity's Emptiness, a Compulsory, and a Kisan. And he again goes for attacks. And Shaddolls aren't really known to have some monsters that have a lot of depth.
No.
And interestingly, Joshua's now thinking whether to activate the second copy of Sinister Shadow Games.
Well, if he gets that Sinister Shadow Games off, he can put another dragon in there to get rid of the unit monster. But also, because that's a Falco, I do believe that its effect is that when it's face up, set one of your monsters from the graveyard. It's really just thinking, what do I want to have set on the field?
Yeah. He doesn't go with the dragon, he goes with the hedgehog.
And sets the hedgehog.
He brings back the hedgehog from the dead. And Jens is checking the defense again. We've actually seen that players getting nervousness, getting the better of them in a way, and they attack into a monster that they can't beat. Yeah, so he's just double checking, can I attack over this?
You really don't want to fall into the trap.
This is the hedgehog for you guys, and Joshua just keeps searching, thinning out his deck here. But at the same time, he's taking the damage. There's no way to stop that.
And the hedgehog is threatening a Shaddoll fusion.
And is it good for Jens that he... I mean, Shien is a card that is introduced from the extra deck, which is a drawback against the Shaddolls because of Shaddoll fusion, but it can negate the Shaddoll fusion, so...
But he also now has a dark and a light in hand for that Shaddoll fusion, which I do believe means that he can now make a construct. Yeah,
so Joshua just drew into the Shaddoll fusion. Let's take a look at his hand in just a second. Here's the field of Jens. And now there we go. This is the hand of Joshua. Minus the Lila, yeah, that has just been summoned.
Turn to defense. Let's see what he tries to destroy there.
What would be your choice? One of the 3 face downs, most likely, yeah?
Breakthrough skill would be a helpful one to get rid of.
So Lila
it's used.
Stays in attack position and doesn't destroy. Well, he doesn't get to send any cards from the top of his deck to the graveyard during the end phase.
No, he's not going to get that now.
Lila would hang around until the end phase. Maybe that was Jens's plan here.
I mean, currently there's also a compulsory evacuation device and Vanity's Emptiness. You kind of want to get rid of all of those to be able to play anything.
There's a Shaddoll fusion, and the Vanity's Emptiness is going to get flipped.
Yep.
This is very, very bad news for Joshua, who's now left with a White Dragon Viper Buster and a Shaddoll Dragon in hand. And
both Lila just sitting there ready to be
beaten.
Yeah.
And both of these cards, they don't really do anything here for him, now, do they?
Not at the moment, no. There really is nothing that he can do.
And while this is a very familiar pose with Joshua, he often sits like that. And it doesn't really mean anything. He does have a plan and everything, but at this point in time, he doesn't seem to be happy at all. Now play proceeds with the battle phase. And now Lila gets returned to the hand. And
he,
speaking of hands, Joshua Schmidt extending his hand, knowing this is over. There's nothing I can do. Jens Eckardt having the perfect string of cards for that particular matchup. And like totally wiping the floor with Joshua Schmidt. I think we haven't seen Joshua Schmidt manhandled like this ever before.
No.